Let's go. I'm better than ever, they never been better than I. Regarded the hardest and I ain't even reaching my prime. They hate that I'm great and they faking I'm real as they come. So sit back and let me show you how this shit is done. My composition, my propositions, I'm raping the system. I'm killing the competition and all of y'all are my victims. Eyes and oohs as I'm ripping the instrumental. Lyrical, individual, never been sentimental. I'm so hot every time that beat drop. And when I say I'm raping the system.
What is going on, boxing fans and gamers? It's your boy Fight Nate's Finest, the Silver Commentator, coming back at you with another Fight Night Champion online ranked match. Rocky Marciano up against Mike Tyson. What a fight. This was a very enjoyable fight. It's very sim. It was very structured. And I think there's a lot of things that can be taken from this if you are trying to improve your game. So I had a guy on my last video. If you have not watched that, please go ahead and check it out. It talked about the importance of structure within a fight, and this is an example of why it is important. And if there is something that is even more important, is why fighting within a structure is very fun, because it can make for great, entertaining, well thought out fights like this. The guy mentioned he didn't have fun tryharding on the game, you know, counting and downloading your opponent and getting in there and fighting with a strategy. Apparently it's not fun, and if you do fight with a game plan and a strategy and you are being sweaty, doing the cold fingers here, that is just too much. Now I get it, not everybody likes to strategize. Sometimes going out there and just swinging for the fences is fun, but it's not going to get you wins. And at the end of the day, winning is fun. So coming in with a game plan or being able to execute on a strategy, you come to find out the more in depth you get with your strategies and the better you get at executing within your structure, the more fun you have with playing the game and the more often you are going to win. A lot of people hate spammers, right? They always have something negative to say about them, because let's be real here, it is a lot of negative things to say about them. But let's give some credit where credit is due. A spammer does something that he always has fun with, because he's always fighting within a structure. He's always set in his game plan and in his strategy, and that's why he can do thousands of online matches doing the same thing and still find the game enjoyable and also get results. So we can take the same thing from a spammer and apply that mindset towards being sim, which is what we do here in this fight, and we're going to break it down. So let's talk about round number one. My boy Arachnus always says let's talk about. So let's talk about round number one. The downloading phase, the gathering information phase of a fight. You should be always looking for those patterns, those tendencies, the habits. What is it that my opponent is most likely to do? What is the rhythm? What is the timing behind what it is that he is doing? And in round number one, we used two tools, the jab and the left hook, in order to still put out offense and also still have a effective shot, and also show the least amount of work possible. And in this round number two here, we started adding in the straight right hand. So a very simple formula, very simple tools to execute on. Your longest punches, your jabs and your straights, and an effective tool that allow you also to be offensive and defensive with counter, step left hooks or check left hooks. So you can always vary the left hook upstairs and downstairs. You can do the same thing with your jab, and now you're showing your right hand as well with the straight right. So we're still fighting with the basic tools that is used for range finding, which is the jabs and the left hooks. But now we're able to add the right hand behind it, which is a more, your power hand allows you to gain the respect of your opponent. So you can see us punishing him heavily now that we have a bit of information that we gathered from round number one. We know his rhythm, we know his timing, and we also added another element to our attack for our opponent to deal with. And as the fight goes on, that is what we're going to continue to do. We're going to build upon the basics, build upon the foundation that we are starting. The jab is your rangefinder. It sets up your offense. It allows you to be defensive. It allows you to get out of trouble. It allows you to create trouble. It allows you to create pressure. It allows you to break up pressure. And then you also have the left hook, which is a scoring shot, an effective scoring shot. You always hear me talk about the jab as a scoring shot and body shots are scoring shots. And then the left hook is like your statement punch, your effective shot, your don't fuck with me type of punch. And then also you have another don't fuck with me punch, which is the straight right hand. That can also break up pressure. It can do major damage. It's a good follow-up for when you create openings with your jab. And also if you create openings with your left hook. So another combo you're going to see us start to implement within the match is the left hook and then the straight right hand. But also, we need to make sure that we use every punch in the game, right? So round number 3, there it goes. The jab followed by the right uppercut. So now we have an uppercut, we have a hook, we have the straight right hand, we have defensive moves now. You see us bobbing and weaving on the timing in order to dodge hooks and come back with counter punches. So we're setting up traps as well, using head movement as well as using the head movement to provide like a feint. So just sometimes if you just do some type of movement on your controller, it will instigate your opponent to throw a punch at you. So you see us starting to implement all these things now. Looking to use timing and range. We're not sitting there and waiting for receipts because champions don't take return damage. So you'll see us do our damage and then immediately look to use a defensive maneuver. And because we have his timing down, we're able to start throwing some major counter punches. Seen us land a counter straight right hand a couple of moments ago. You see us breaking up pressure, sidestepping and landing a left hook there. He's getting too close. He's within our wheelhouse. If he ducks that head down or he gets too close to us, we'll throw the jab followed by the right uppercut. We also have the left hook, and everything is coming together now in a beautiful symphony. And that's all because we took the time in round number 1 to download his tendencies and then suddenly start adding things to our tools. Our tools of the trade, so to speak. So because we're putting forth offense and adding on to our offense every round, it also allows us to be mysterious to our opponent. Now he doesn't know if we're going to just... He doesn't know how to get away from the jab. He doesn't know how to get away from the right uppercut. He doesn't know how to get away from the straight right hand. And it's a new thing each and every round that we continuously build upon based on what it is that our opponent does well and also what it is that we do well. So the only round we lost was the first round, which is where we had the most limited tools. And now the scorecards are reading 29 to 28. 2 rounds compared to 1. In favor of us, Rocky Marciano. So this fight right here really shows why it's fun to fight within a structure. And you can do this against spammers, you can do this against anybody. Now it's not going to always be as easy doing this within a against a spammer or whatever. I always say that it is extremely important to take the first 4 rounds to always be paying attention to patterns and tendencies. And then by the 5th round, you should have an adjustment lined up and ready to go. A form of attack, a way to land your offense, a way to get away from his strongest elements of his offense. You should have a defensive plan and an offensive plan by round 5 that you can implement, be ready to go, and carry out throughout the entire fight. Because let's face it, most people do not make adjustments. A lot of people are very poor at making adjustments. And because a lot of people do not fight within a structure or do not have a plan of attack or a strategy, if you will, it makes it for very, very, very difficult time to adjust. They have a hard time strategizing with a counter plan of attack because they're already showing you everything within 2 or 3 rounds. Sometimes everything that they have comes out within that first round. You're going to always be able to notice some type of element of weakness by a person who does not fight with a strategy. And then you will be able to devise and come up with a strategy of your own just by paying attention and just by fighting within a structure. You know, taking the first round to download, taking the second round to download, subtly adding things to your offense, adding little elements. Maybe it's a punch, maybe it's a certain combo that you haven't shown. And the first round here, what did we do? Throw a lot of single punches. In the second round, we introduced the combo. In the third round, we introduced a new punch with a combo. And in the fourth round, then you see us start throwing like double hooks, and you see us throwing like double uppercuts. There's so many different things we added. So by the round number 5 comes, he still has not figured out what it is that we want to do. So what do we get now? An opponent who's just gonna continuously show us the same picture. It's like going to an art show, right? Imagine you're walking down a hallway and you always see the same picture regardless to what exhibit you visit. That's your opponent. He's always going to show you the same art piece. While for us, every time you go to a new exhibit, it's something different. It's a different art piece. And it's not just pictures. Sometimes you're going to get sculptures. If it's not sculptures, sometimes you're going to get a video, because, you know, art can be in many different forms. You may hear some music. It's always going to be something new. And that's the way that you should fight. As if you're running your own museum, you know, have your own exhibit going on. And I think this fight does a very good job of showcasing that. So now you can start to see where the fun comes in, because you also can come up with more creative ways to punish your opponent as well when you're fighting within a structure, or you're being able to showcase some discipline. And we're able to get our first knockdown of the fight as well, because this is round number 5 here. Is the first round where we're, not to say we haven't sat down on our punches at some points, but we're doing a lot less moving away. So now we're showing a whole new element of our game. Pressure fighting, being able to fight well on the inside, being able to trade with our opponent, and showing our knowledge of being able to out-trade the opponent as well. So if he goes for, let's say, a body jab, right? I'm going to have jab followed by the right uppercut, as you saw, waiting for him, because that's going to be a counter to him now starting to attack my body. So I make it so that I protect my body with better offense. I trade his scoring shot for my scoring shot and effective shot. If he starts to get too close, or I feel like he's getting too comfortable closing the distance, pop him with a 1-2. Don't just let him walk in for free. And if he does walk in, then I have an answer for that. If you go to my body when you walk in, I have jab uppercut. If you start to get into my range, I'm going to punish you on the way inside with either a double jab, a single jab, or 1-2 up top. If you get inside and my jab uppercut doesn't work, not only am I gonna break up pressure, I'm gonna step to my left, or I'm gonna step a punch that you have coming at me, and I'm gonna counter with my left hook in order to break up punches. Break up the punch that you're trying, break up the pressure that you're throwing at me, and I'm gonna land an effective shot and potentially a counter shot on top of it. So these are all little things that I'm doing in order to negate his offense. Once again, he's close. You saw the jab uppercut land. He's going to the body, right? Left uppercut again. Right uppercut. He's going downstairs. Here's a left hook. And I'm constantly punishing him for the decisions that he's making offensively. I only know these things because of experience, as well as I paid attention to his patterns and his tendency. And now I start putting on my own pressure. You saw me throwing a couple of body shots. You see me going upstairs. Now you see me also responding to every punch that he throws. And that's another thing that we was doing as well. Anytime the opponent threw something at us, we had something for him. Nothing is for free. If you throw at me, I have something for you. If you throw 2 punches, I'm going to throw 3 punches. It's always something, and that's how we are able to pick up our second knockdown of the fight, is by that simple formula, that simple rule right there. If you throw something at me, I'm gonna have more waiting for you. Anything you do, not only am I going to outwork you, but I am also gonna punish you efficiently. And then you constantly do that and think about these things and think about these elements throughout the entire fight. So in round number 6 here, we start closing the gap. You see us now also bobbing and weaving and able to time that hook, and also bobbing and weaving the right way. And you're going to see us start to get some more counters based off of that. So there it is. Step in, weave on the timing. There's another counter opportunity there. We didn't take it because it wasn't efficient. Punishing the body there. showing him how to use the 1-2-3 in a creative and effective way. We punished the stamina of our opponent after he missed, and then also landed an effective shot up top with the left hook. So going into round number 7, we're definitely in the driver's seat. We're definitely looking to make a push for a finish since we've already knocked our opponent down twice. And this is something I said in the last video. But whenever you start to be in control and you fought a disciplined fight, now you can look to start to be more creative offensively. And speaking of creativity, sometimes you could do it through defense. Bob and weave inside and land the right hook up top. Once again, you see us do the same thing, punish him for the same attempt. This time he tried it again. We was also able to duck that timing and come in with the left hook. It's just been a very masterful performance, if I do say so myself. So round number 7, just walking him down here now. And I talked about this in the last video as well, but anytime my opponent is like moving towards his right, you see me throwing that left hook out because I want to smack him back the other direction. Throw the left hook out so I can smack him back into moving towards his left, which would be our right, and just follow up the pressure from there. And when we got good ring positioning, you see me unleashing the combinations. So what started off from a single jab and sometimes a left hook is now turning into 4 or 5 punch combinations here in round number 7. 1, 2, 3 up top, and then you see us throwing there like a little 6, 7, 8 punch combination. He goes for the clinch, which shows us an indication, or gives us the indication that he is hurt. You throw a power left uppercut downstairs to the body. Left hook does not connect. He's pulling straight back. So now we start throwing the 1-2s up top. You also see us throwing that left hook followed by the straight. I'm also trying to throw some more power shots out here. Sometimes I also throw the power shots when I think he is trying to trade, because at this point I feel like I have better stamina management than him. I also feel like if I do trade with him, with all the damage that we have piled up and he has taken and accumulated over the fight, it's only going to be more beneficial towards me. Not to mention, Rocky Marciano has the better chin over Mike Tyson, and that is how we're able to get the 3rd knockdown and the final knockdown of the fight. So I hope this fight taught you something. If it did, please like the video and leave your thoughts in the comment section below. It's been your boy, Fight Nate's Finest, the selfie commentator, and I'm off this. Peace.